Maryland hospital violated Affordable Care Act in denying medical care to trans patient, court rules. The University of Maryland St. Joseph Medical Center violated federal law when it refused to provide gender-affirming surgical care to a transgender man because of his gender identity, a federal court ruled on Friday. Jesse Hammonds, a transgender man diagnosed with gender dysphoria, was denied a hysterectomy to remove his uterus in 2020 after his scheduled surgeon discovered Hammonds was transgender, citing a hospital policy that prohibits medical personnel from providing gender-affirming health care to transgender individuals. St. Joseph Medical Center, now part of the University of Maryland Medical System, was, up until 2012, owned and operated as a Catholic hospital by Catholic Health Initiatives. As a condition of its purchase agreement, UMMS pledged to continue operating St. Joseph in a manner consistent with Catholic views and principles. That includes complying with a formal reporting mechanism to ensure the hospital is held accountable for its Catholic identity. The National Catholic Bioethics Center audits the hospital every 2 years to assess its adherence to a set of religious directives for Catholic health services set by the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. While the directives themselves, known as the Ethical and Religious Directives for Catholic Health Services, state that medical procedures induce sterility, are permitted when their direct effect is the cure or alleviation of a present and serious pathology. Guidelines for transgender health care set by the NCBC are much more stringent. Gender transitioning should never be performed, encouraged, or positively affirmed in a good Catholic healthcare, reads a guidance document issued by the group. It adds that government mandates do not alter the immorality of gender transitioning interventions, and Catholic hospitals should seek religious exemptions. Litigation may be appropriate in response to unjust legal coercion, the document states. One thing, I want to go back real quick. This doctor that denied the hysterectomy was likely following the letter of the law with the hospital. And it's very likely that the doctor didn't refuse on a personal basis, but rather because their hands were tied by these principles, these already set in stone. So the doctor could have seen this as an inevitability and that this person would clearly win in court to alleviate that restriction for others. I don't want to seem like I'm putting the doctor on blast here. It's very likely that the doctor was agreeing with Hammonds and wanted to perform the surgery but couldn't due to the standards set by the hospital. Don't want anyone to lose their medical license, right? That would be bad. Okay. On Friday, District Court Judge Deborah K. Chassenaw ruled that the UMMS and St. Joseph Medical Center had violated Section 1557 of the Affordable Care Act, which prohibits discrimination in health care on the basis of sex, in denying Hammonds a hysterectomy simply because he is transgender. The undisputed facts establish that the decision to cancel Mr. Hammonds' hysterectomy pursuant to a policy, that prohibits gender-affirming care was discrimination on the basis of sex, Chassenaw wrote. Defendants have not identified evidence that suggests Mr. Hammond's surgery was canceled for any other reason, she added. Therefore, defendants' position that the denial of Mr. Hammond's surgery had nothing to do with his sex or gender identity is simply not supported in any evidence. UMMS had tried to remove itself as a defendant in Hammond's case, arguing that the only funding recipient for the specific discriminatory program, which in this case is St. Joseph Medical Center, is liable under Section 1557. Chassenaw on Friday denied that claim, arguing that UMMS is undoubtedly engaged in the business of providing health care through its network of hospitals. A plain reading of the statute supports a conclusion that UMMS could be held liable under Section 1557 for discrimination that occurs in any of its hospitals, she wrote in the ruling. Hammonds, in a statement released by his attorneys at the American Civil Liberties Union, said Friday's win was an important step toward ensuring transgender people are no longer denied equal treatment because of who they are. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. It's likely that that personal doctor, that doctor that denied the surgery initially, was following the letter of the law so as to not lose their medical license and saw this legal thing as an inevitability, that this would help others in the future. All I wanted was for UMMS to treat my health care like anyone else's, and I'm glad the court recognized how unfair it was to turn me away, Hammond said. I'm hopeful UMMS can change this harmful policy and help more transgender people access the care they need. In a statement to The Hill, a UMMS spokesperson said the hospital system is carefully reviewing Chassenaux's ruling and disagrees with many of the conclusions that were reached in this decision. This legal claim stems directly from and is traceable to a surgeon mistakenly scheduling a procedure that could not be performed at UMSJMC, the spokesperson said. Although our offer to perform gender-affirming surgery at a different location was declined by Mr. Hammonds, the University of Maryland medical system remains committed to meeting the unique medical needs of transgender individuals and patients who are routinely scheduled by physicians for appointments and procedures at UMMS member organizations. Woo! That was a good one. Some good news. Some good news to round out that Fox News thing that we just went through. It's good. I'm glad to see that he's going to get the care that he needs and that the hospital is willing to abide by that. Moving on.